Welcome back to SHOT Show 2026 with the Carry Handle Podcast and a very special returning guest, Mr. Hilton Yam of 10-8 Performance.
Hello,
here, here to talk to us about his Springfield. Sir, tell me what we got here.
All right, we're here at the Lipsey's booth. It's a Lipsey's exclusive, produced by Springfield Armory and designed in collaboration with them and me. So we've got a TRP grade 5-inch gun. It is a 5-inch cone barrel, 9 or 45, and then of course government length grip. The serrations are a wide pattern that I used on my custom builds, and check out the rear of them. They are abbreviated so that when you're riding high thumb on the 1911 safety, you're not getting abraded by the bottom of the slide where the saw teeth might terminate. So that's an extra feature, and it looks cool. The frame has a square trigger guard. A lot of questions about that. Honestly, I put that on there as a retro tribute to the OGs of the 1911 world, like Armand Swenson, Jim Hogue, Packmeyer Gunworks, the stuff that I grew up with. So it looks cool. Don't worry about holster fit, though. Anything that fits a 5-inch 2011 is going to work with this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was my next question.
Yep, logical question. Also, if you use an X300, that becomes a de facto holster fit adapter.
Right. Yeah.
So that's not going to be an issue. I'm also going to do a resource page on my website that'll include the logical questions answered in a little more permanent home. And then we've got a 10-8 Performance machine slide stop with a wide ledge for easy manipulations. Of course, flat trigger for a positive and consistent feel wherever you put your finger on the trigger. 10-8 Performance mag catch scooped grips in 5 LPI G10. We've got the curved face mag catch. So when you're rolling the gun over to execute a reload, the catch falls under your thumb with a positive grip and feels real natural and comfortable. The grips have a medallion. It's my family name in Chinese. The rest of it, we've got the 20-line check ring that's on the TRP grade guns. And then, of course, this matching check ring here and the TRP magwell. And then we've got a machined ambi safety that is now standard on most of the newer production Springfields. And then the remainder of the parts are basically standard TRP parts. And, of course, we got the AOS optic system as well.
So my question is for any of the 10-8 fans that want to maybe switch that hammer out, how nice was your hammer play with the existing Disco and Sear?
I think that it would be fairly transparent of a swap. I get that was a question. It's like, hey, why didn't you do the hammer? There's one of those things where I went basically, I went ham on the wish list.
Right.
And there's some things that, like the hammers, are really expensive.
Right.
So I knew it was going to drive the price more. I was afraid that we're going to come up with so many things that the price point would be unmarketable.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be possible to swap it in. It should be fairly transparent, but I haven't tried it yet because I've only had the guns for a couple of days prior to the show.
Right.
Yeah. So that's something I might play with later. But honestly, other than it looking cool, hey, and I respect that. If any 10-8 fan is that into it that they want to put the hammer in, I respect it because I thought, believe me, I thought about it too.
Yeah.
But up front, as far as getting the gun, just enjoying it, the trigger pulls on these things really nice.
Yeah.
They prepped the sear nose and hammer hook engagements really nicely as far as a production grade part, and the trigger pulls are really good. So, what else you got, man?
What was the decision behind the bull barrel? Is that just more of an aesthetic or mechanically?
No, I'm a huge fan of the bull barrel, and I have been for a long time. It was one of those things that it was difficult to incorporate it into my builds because just the ecosystem, especially back when I was doing it,
right.
The ecosystem of parts to execute that was not quite as robust as it is now.
Yeah.
I like the bull barrels a lot because the main thing, it adds mass up front where you need it to absorb recoil. And in the 45, it feels great. And I was always a big fan of that half rail TRP operator, the one with the
I remember
bar.
Triple Bravo messing around with that.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was a great gun, one of my favorites from that era of production. And it shot great with 45 ball.
Yeah.
And the same thing happens here when we moved it. I think that's the 45. I'm holding a 9. Yeah. The 9, though, honestly, to me, it was an afterthought when we came up with the project. They were like, hey, can we do a 9? So it was like, yeah, I got parts for a 9, whatever. And oh, by the way, got the 10-8 spring plug in the front too.
Well, because full-length guide rods have no business.
It doesn't do enough work really for the
Right.
hassle. And then, so the 9, once I got my sample gun, is the one that I actually shot more. And it's, if you're looking at the video here, I'm in it shooting the 9. The amount of recoil reduction is fabulous with the 9, which you'd expect. But in 9s, in a 5-inch 1911, a lot of times it's real sluggish or kind of a pogo stick effect.
Yeah, like
It slides
rowboaty.
kind of slow and goes and slams forward, slams down. The front of the slide is backboard all the way to the radial lug cuts, so you lose some weight there, right? Because the reciprocating mass needs to be balanced. And then on the underside of the slide, let's see if you guys can capture this. The underside of the slide has 2 slot cuts on either one on either side of the disconnector rail behind the breech face. And what that does is lighten the slide front and back, so the recoil impulse is very balanced and smooth. The gun is fantastic in tracking. It's really soft and it has a lively feel in tracking. I love it.
Excellent. And so, unlike the original 10-8 operators, these are going to be production,
Right.
not limited run.
Right, because those old 10-8 operators, those were custom shotguns.
Yep.
And we were doing like 15 of them at a time and only a handful of runs. These are, hopefully we'll be able to keep making them until people stop buying them.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I'm definitely going to be getting my hands on those.
Awesome.
Last question.
Yeah.
What's the finish on that?
This is a black Cerakote.
Okay.
It is a finish that's, of course, factory applied. And they told me what grade of Cerakote it was, but it is a newer version that's more abrasion resistant.
Okay.
And from having used a lot of the Springfields, it does pretty well for Cerakote. And it's one of those, it's a cost-effective finish.
Right.
Because if we're to go PVD, the price point on this would probably be up another $300 to $500.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thanks
guys.
for tuning in, guys.